Hello everyone and welcome to another track guide. This time we are at Tokyo Expressway South Clockwise. It's a very challenging track. As most street tracks, the walls are usually very close to where you're going by, and they can be very penalizing. This should definitely be one of the biggest challenges on this game in terms of these kinds of tracks. So we get to turn 1. As you can see, there is a Harman Logistics sign to my left, but the other sign there that says auto, that's sort of a reference that can be used for the braking point around here. So you start braking just before you get past it. Then you start turning in at around this point here, and you're going to be around 3rd or 4th gear for the majority of the cars. As always, you want to get as close to the walls as possible without hitting them. Then you're gonna wash wide like this, and then you want to go to the right as soon as you can. And if you see this unicorn media sign to the right hand side, that's what you should use to start turning for this section here. You're gonna need to do some throttle adjustment, otherwise the car will just understeer and you're gonna get this section all wrong, and it is crucial that you get this right if you wanna be successful, have a good lap around here. So as always, close to the right here. And now if you see this blackboard here to my right hand side, that's the reference point you can use to start turning in. And then when you get around to this point where you can see there's like this transition between the bigger fence, bit of a smaller fence on the left, that's a good idea as to when you can start accelerating more, like going full throttle. But then again, you're probably gonna have to adjust your throttle just a little bit as you go through that section, because it's really easy to misjudge it and hit the wall. So next section here, the hairpin. As soon as you go down this ramp, you want to get as far left as possible. And if you see, I usually brake between the 150 and the 100 meter boards, but somewhat closer to the 100 meter board. And yeah, you have this first sign here that says pit. So after you get past it, you'll see this this pillar to the left that connects to the bridge. And as soon as you kind of see it, that's when you're going to start thinking about turning the car. Maybe a bit closer to the 50 meter board, and you're gonna get down at around 2nd gear by this point. And ideally you want to get a late apex for this corner. You're gonna have to be very patient on throttle, because on the exits of this corner the track isn't usually too grippy, so it's easy for you to lose control of the back end and you can hit the wall, etc. So you want to try and avoid that by being a bit more cautious on the throttle. Okay, so this entire section is done flat out, obviously. It's a very long section of the track on full throttle. We're gonna go through the tunnel here, and then we head on to the final sector, which is one of the most challenging parts of this track, because it's not as easy as it seems to get it all right. As you can see to my left hand side, there is this post that has the telephone sign on it, and that's a good reference point for your braking for this corner. So you can brake in between this kind of dented mark on the track surface, and this board right here. You're gonna be turning as soon as you get past the 50-meter sign, right there. You're gonna be around 4th or 5th gear in here, and as soon as you get as soon as you get close to this other post with the telephone sign, that's when you're gonna start accelerating again, just going full throttle. It's easy for the car to understeer if you just brake too much on the initial phase, and or if you go too quickly on the throttle midway through the corner. So yeah, patience is key around this section. Then we're gonna head on to the chicane, and you can start braking in between the 50-meter board and the black board that is here to the left, sorry. And I usually tend to brake closer to the black board. So you're gonna get around to this point. As soon as you see the start of this curve on the left, that's when you're gonna start turning in. And by the time you get to the chicane, you're going to be either in 2nd or 3rd gear, obviously, depending on the cars. I've noticed that if you take too much curb, it's easy for the car to get this weird bouncing, and you're gonna lose control of the car very easily. So just try to take a bit of a more cautious approach to it, especially if you see that your car is a bit more sensitive on the curves. So you'll obviously want to try and straight line this chicane as much as possible. You can run a bit wide on the exit, but be careful not to run too wide because you can pick up a time penalty, and the penalty zone doesn't really help. So you're effectively gonna end up losing more time serving the penalty than what the actual number states. And then for this final corner, it is done entirely flat out, so you can use either this this road sign or the blackboards, basically the same. They're basically at the same level, to start turning in for this corner, and it should be done flat out. But be careful if you don't turn in as much, or if you start turning in a little bit later than that, because as you're going full throttle, it's easier than it looks for the car to understeer and hit the wall. Then obviously you're gonna go full throttle until you reach the finish line. There you go. That is a lap around Tokyo Expressway South, clockwise. And yeah, if you want to see any more track guides, or if you want to see any more racing content, please make sure to check out the YouTube channel and all of our other socials, and stay tuned for more content. Hopefully see you all soon.